What them haters talking about?
What's up, family? There's a 1973 special report on how the government's welfare system destroyed black families. A video resurfaced on an IG clip that I checked out the other day. And fam, it made me hotter than I already am about how they played us with this welfare thing. In 1935, during the Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt established the first welfare program in the United States, with Congress passing the Social Security Act. The legislation provides benefits through a variety of welfare programs. Now, fam, this is how they got us. Like they always do. It just happened recently with the shot, right? They always come up with something slick like they're trying to help us. And we jump on it because we're oftentimes in a situation where we feel like we have no other choice. Desperate situations calls for desperate measures, and we definitely took some desperate measures to put food on the table during the Great Depression and immediately after. Fam, boy, this was cold, fam. I'm talking about they were cold-blooded. I want you to remember something if you don't remember nothing. There has never been a time in American history where America was facing a crisis and black people were among the first to benefit. I'll say it again. There's never been a time in American history where America was facing a crisis and black people were among the first to benefit. That's not how it works. In fact, black folks seldom benefit. The Man in the House rule was also written to make sure that aid to families with dependent children would go only to families headed by mothers. But the effect of the Man in the House rule was to create for children an atmosphere of surveillance and investigation. Thus, the welfare system in its operation turns out to make life harder for children. This is what they did intentionally, fam. They knew exactly what they were doing. Those uncivilized mutts offered money to the family if the father would leave them and stay away, thereby taking away one of the parents the child needs. The legal system worked against the best type of home for the children, fam. Your politicians did this by way of just putting their signature on a piece of paper. I remember a caseworker coming to our house once. We were on welfare, but we used welfare as a supplement to my mother's income. My mother worked every day. She needed a little help, so she took it. But man, I remember having to make sure that the house was extra clean and we had to be on our best behavior because the caseworker was coming over. And they would peep around trying to make sure no man was in the house. Now here's the thing, fam. They didn't go so hard on white families. They had enough latitude where they could enforce the man of the house rule, or they didn't have to enforce it. And oftentimes they did not enforce it when it came to white families. They would enforce it 1,000% of the time when it came to black families. Now I know what some of you guys have been writing already, and I know what you're thinking. The black woman sold us out. Not so fast. Yeah, to be fair, there was a fair share of black women who gave Franklin D. Roosevelt and other public officials a vote of confidence in exchange for those welfare payments. They thought much higher of those public officials than they thought of the man who gave them children. What they did not understand was that the children that they were birthing were only pawns in the game. They needed them to birth those children, to feed those children, so that they could put them in the system, to work for them, to be good little workers. And I mean, in the free world and in the prison industrial complex. See, the goal is to give you just enough to get by, where you don't lose hope, and not too much to where you'll start beating your chest and thinking you can do for yourself. Having said that, it takes two to tango. Fellas, you know, we didn't have to go for it. As men, we didn't have to abandon our homes. We didn't have to abandon our children, our wives. We didn't have to do that. We did it. Some of us took the easy way out. Some of us stayed. Now, not all of us abandoned our families. Some of us said, F that, I'm riding it out. Mama said, I'm riding it out. Daddy said, I'm riding it out. We're going to be together no matter what. We're going to make a way no matter what. But many of us took the bait. And you can't blame the woman without blaming the man, no matter what you say. And I tell you what too, fam, something we ain't got over yet. This breeding, we talk about single mothers all the time, but you got 20% of the men out there who are responsible for 80% of the babies. Yeah, fam, tell the truth and shame the devil. But all of this, fam, all of this was initiated by the U.S. government. If you think back about every single atrocity that has plagued our communities, fam, the government had a hand in every single one of them. Slavery, redlining, denying black people loans, home loans, so that they could build generational wealth. Mass incarceration, Jim Crow, crack cocaine. Oh man, it don't stop. They're busy on something right now. Right now they've been tearing up the educational system for the last 40 years. They're doing something else right now. Just like they got a think team to come up with programs, initiatives to hold us back, we got to get us one to make sure that we can reach our full potential, that we can go to max, that we can fight off what they're coming up with. When they come, as soon as they come up with it, we bat it right down like, nah, we're not going for it. We already see it. It's a booby trap. And I'm going to tell you how to recognize an American booby trap, an American government booby trap. Just when they come at you and say, we're here to help, you already know it's a trap. Because they're never here to help us. They're never here to help us. We're always going to be on our own. Everything that we have, we got it on our own. We had to fight, scratch, kill, and die for it. Everything we have. Don't ever get that twisted. They are not for us. What kind of government would create a system to separate men from their families? Who would create a system like that and incentivize women to go solo? The government created single-family households. They created it and then got the nerve, and they did it with the media, mainstream media, Cosmopolitan Magazine, New York Post, Washington Times, Houston Chronicle, LA Times, all of them were involved. The mainstream media has always been in cahoots with the government for all of the propaganda it's been involved in. I mean everything you can think of. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. They've always done us dirty, and they're going to always do us dirty. So we have to look out for ourselves. We have to. We can't be looking at Biden or Trump or any of them. They're looking out for themselves. And people who look like them second. But first them and their elitist friends. That's who they're looking out for. But they got a mentality, fam. American government, American political figures, they have a mentality. Anybody but black. Even other people that live in this country that are not black. They got a mentality. They can be cool with anybody getting it, but boy, as soon as they see a black person getting it, it's a problem. They created the chaos, and then they try to swoop in and play the hero. Sometimes they play the victim. Other times they play the hero and the victim. So when they try to tell you, you can make it as long as you just do the right thing and you work hard. Yeah, fam. That part is right. Work hard. Do the right thing. That's going to be the only way you stand a chance. So at the very minimum, you got to do that. But you got to do that while navigating through the shark-infested waters that your government created. The last thing that they want to see is black people collectively winning. Oh, they don't mind one or two hand-picked ones that work for them, who they can control, who ain't going to be a problem. They don't mind them getting it. But if they think you're going to get that money and help your people, they ain't going to give it to you. Or they're going to try to get in your way. They're going to try to block you. That's why if you're going to go out there and work with them, get your money, pile it up, speak softly, carry a big stick. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?